Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel, and we've got nearly 2,200 or 2,100 audios available on this channel. Nearly another 1,100 on my coaching channel. So if you're looking for either of these, it can be helpful. This is the AEW review for the 17th of November 2021. Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, and Adam Cole are backstage. Omega said that he's disgusted, saying that there's things he has to fix and change. He said he can't do it here. He asked the Bucks to hold down the fort while he's gone. Cole said, "Cleaner, I got this." Omega told Cole that he's referring to the Bucks, and Nick told Cutler to stop filming. So there's already dissension there. The Hangman Page Championship celebrations up next. Awesome segment, and this is Page's top star, and this is AEW's top star, and Page probably has never been better. It's National Cowboy Stuff Day. Dark Order is already in the ring when this begins. John Silver introduces Page, who makes an entrance. Fans chant, "You deserve it," and he said he earned it. The crowd obliged the chant. And then Page said he usually is a pretty shy guy, but now that he's the world champion, so he's going to do what he wants and celebrate National Cowboy Stuff Day with everyone. Page said the AEW World Championship means a lot of responsibility, and his first responsibility is taking on Bryan Danielson. His music plays, he comes out, and then he congratulates Page, but he's surprised and disappointed that it's not Kenny Omega standing across from him. Page comes back saying he beat Omega at Full Gear in less than 30 minutes. Danielson then said that he didn't come here to start something, but he's going to kick Page's, tail. Danielson cares a lot about wrestling, and unlike Page, when he just flaps his gums, he said he wins the title at WrestleMania. He wrestled the very next day. Page suggested that they fight right now, and the crowd chanted yes. Danielson doesn't think this is a good idea, and he doesn't want Page to use that as an excuse that he wasn't ready. They get in each other's space, exchange some shoves. Dark Order keeps them at bay. Crowd chant, "Let them fight." Danielson said he wouldn't do that. Page broke free and attacked Danielson, but then he escapes the floor. Danielson then defeats Evil Uno. Running through the Dark Order isn't a bad idea. Uno gets an advantage early on. Danielson just slapped him across the face. He lays in some kicks and some other strikes. Danielson then dominates and fires up in the corner. Attacked him with a Rana and then the hanging neckbreaker, followed for near fall. Danielson stretches Uno and slaps him and starts drawing with him the whole time. Lands corner drop kick. Uno then cuts him off and then goes for a Senton Atomico. Danielson gets the knees up. Danielson then lands with the knee and hits a bunch of stomps before locking in the triangle for the referee stoppage. After the match, Tony Schiavone asked Danielson about the mixed fan reception. Danielson then said he came out to congratulate Page, but because of Page's behavior, he ended up kicking Uno's head in, and he's going to take on every member of the Dark Order and kick all their heads in next week in Chicago, and he's going to take on Colt Cabana. MJF video promo airs about the match with Darby Allin. MJF said he wasn't covered in paint, he's covered in shame. Everyone said MJF couldn't wrestle, but he's only good on the microphone. He said he proved he could wrestle, and even though everyone hates his guts, they have no choice but to admit how good he is. He beat Allin with a headlock takeover, and he should be wearing a belt. And then he asked, who knows what's next for MJF. Eddie Kingston is about to be interviewed by Tony Schiavone, but 2.0 and Daniel Garcia interrupted. Why they're on national TV still, I don't understand. Then they interrupt. Kingston didn't last against Funk as Garcia did. Kingston said he doesn't respect Garcia and shoved him. Chaos, Orange Cassidy, and Ishii with the Best Friends and Rocky Romero defeat the Butcher, the Blade with Matt Hardy and the Bunny. Not a fan of this. I'm not a super fan of the whole let's include Japanese talent when we haven't pumped them properly. Ishii, though, did win the Never Openweight Championship this past weekend. He and the Butcher start off. Blade immediately comes in. He lays in some forearms. Ishii doesn't give any ground, and then Blade drops him with a single shot. Orange then tags in. does the hands in the pocket steal until Butcher blind tagged himself back in and crushes Orange with a tackle. Bunny and Hardy attack Orange on the floor ahead of the break. Orange then makes a comeback upon return from commercial and reacted for Ishii for the hot tag. Ishii then takes out Blade with a shoulder tackle and lays in some chops. A backdrop suplex gets a 2 count. Butcher then tags in and trades forearms in the center ring, and Butcher lays chops in the corner, but Ishii slaps and begins to lean into them. Butcher and the Blade get an advantage on Orange. They tag in, but later quickly counters with a DDT on Blade for near fall. Hardy then distracts Orange Cassidy for his trouble and then suplexes him, but Ishii breaks up the pin, tags himself in. Ishii lands a combination of corner shots, and then Hardy and the Bunny distract him, and the Blade gets brass knuckles. Ishii then crushes Blade with a lariat and a vertical drop brainbuster for the trouble. Andrade and FDR are interviewed backstage. Andrade said that he proved that he was the better wrestler than Pac and Cody, and said he's frustrated, and that he said that Dax was robbed. They suggested getting Malachi Black and making it an 8-man tag team match. Tully addressed Arn Anderson, and he said he's got one more in him. So Anderson and Blanchard could be a thing somewhere down the road. Ty Conti cuts a promo saying she didn't fail on Saturday. She learned. Next time she gets a title shot, she'll become champion. Britt Baker, along with Hayter and Rebel, is interviewed. Baker said she needs to direct the conversation to the TBS champion, Hayter, and they didn't want to hear about the opponent, Thunder Rosa. Baker promised Hayter would win. Neither Rose wins. Vicky Guerrero defeats Hikaru Shida in the TBS Championship tournament. Neither woman really gets a clear advantage in the early stages. Shida sends Rose to the floor. Rose cuts Shida off and gets back in the ring. Targeted Shida's knee. Vicky chokes Shida with a kendo stick, and then obviously that's done when the ref isn't looking. Shida then starts to hit a bit of a comeback and sends Rose into the barricade, picks up the chair and teases a step-up knee. Rose then levels that out. Shida then catches a kendo stick shot from Vicky and whacks her with it. Rose then attacks Shida's knee ahead of it, and once back, Serena Deeb shows up and attacks Shida's knee herself. Rose is perched on the ropes there, and Shida then is over the top rope and lands her diving knee for near fall. She then goes for the Beast Bomb. Shida then turns it into a triangle. Rose power bombs out and hits a Rose bomb herself. Rose then goes for the top rope senton. Shida rolls out of the way and then cradles Rose for near fall. Rose catches a kick and applies a stretch muffler, standing style, for the victory. Malachi Black talks about the definition of nightmare. He said his team will win the 8-man tag team match, and he would haunt the 4 opponents. The opponents need to take deep breaths. MJF walks out, and Wardlow and Shawn Spears is with him. He asks Spears to shut up the crowd. I don't understand why Spears is still employed, to be completely honest. Well, yes, I do. He's a friend of Cody, but other than that, I don't understand another reason. Spears failed. MJF told the crowd that they were looking at a guy who checks all the boxes, the most complete pro wrestler on the planet. He then said that he is the past, present, and future of professional wrestling. He could take a big old cowboy dump right on Hangman Page's title reign, and MJF deserves to be the next world champion because nobody in the locker room is on his level. CM Punk music plays, he walks out, and then there's a lot of chants. MJF introduces himself and offered a handshake. Punk turns around and walks out. Darby Allin's interviewed backstage. Allin said MJF didn't break his mentality and they would have a rematch at some point down the road. He's not taking time off and he wants to be the best and baddest in AEW. Gun Club walked out. Billy challenges Allin to a match. Why in the world this happens, we have no idea. Super Click is backstage. They said Full Gear was one of the worst nights of their lives. Neither of the Young Bucks are even cleared anymore. Super Click will come back stronger than ever before, and Rampage will be Adam Cole and Bobby Fish against Jurassic Express. Fish walked in and promises to put an end to Jurassic joke, and they tease dissension between the team at the end. Leo Rush and Dante Martin defeat the Acclaimed, Caster and Bowens. Caster did a rapping gimmick before the match. Russ and Dante take them out with dives. They work quite well as a team. Bowens then hits double team for a near fall and keeps up the advantage until Caster trips Dante without being the legal man. Acclaimed beat Dante down and then get a bunch of tags throughout the commercial break. Back from the break, Rush then gets a hot tag and took out both members of the Acclaimed. Axe Kick gets them a 2 count, and Bowens then rolls out of the way and hits Frog Splash. Dante misses a double springboard moonsault, and Bowens then takes out Rush with kicks, but Dante comes back with a springboard drop kick on Bowens. The Acclaimed regrouped and hits the mic drop into the Acclaimed Fame on Rush, but Dante breaks up the pin. Dante then hits a double springboard moonsault, then Rush hits a frog splash for the win. After the match, Team Taz walked out and congratulates Rush and Dante. Taz offers condolences to Rush and family. He talks about offering Dante a contract last week in Rush's absence. Starks then said they'd be patient and bring up that they were patient with Hobbs. Choice between Team Taz and Rush is a choice between Hall of Fame career and mediocre stuff. Christian Cage and Jurassic Express are backstage. Christian said that this is one of the best nights of their careers. Jungle Boy said there's a change inside, he is here to stay, and they're better now than they've ever been. And they'd see Cole and Fish on Friday. Cole and Fish's team is really exciting. Rampage, not exactly a heavy lineup. Darby Allin versus Billy Gunn. TBS tournament, Jade Cargill and Red Velvet. Jurassic Express, Adam Cole and Bobby Fish. At least one of the matches isn't bad. Next week on Dynamite 11/24, Bryan Danielson, Colt Cabana. TBS Championship Tournament, Thunder Rosa, Jamie Hayter. And Lucha Brothers, Cody Rhodes and Pac versus Andrade, Mikael Black, and FTR. Not necessarily a fan of this either, but it is what it is. Lucha Brothers are backstage. Penta said that FTR couldn't get the job done. Phoenix then said the Death Triangle and Cody Rhodes had something special for them next week because they're the best four-man team in the universe. Why would you even claim that? Anyway, before the match, Lethal told Guerrero to get ready for the toughest fight of his life. TNT champion Sammy Guevara defeats Jay Lethal in your main event. Lethal's first AEW match, Guevara has taped up ribs. Tony Nese is also shown in the crowd. Guerrero counters a lethal injection early. An attempt the GTH gets a hold, but Lethal fights out of that, and they exchange cradles until they reach a stalemate. Lethal then gets control in the lethal combination, but Guevara then sets Lethal on the floor and lands a major dive. Back in the ring, Guevara attempts a shooting star press, but Lethal got the knees up and then lands. Anyway, as we go into a commercial break. During the commercial, officials checked on Guevara, who may have legitimately injured his midsection in some way. He then stands up and does so pretty gingerly. Once back, Guevara fires back into the ring and then is flapjacked lethal. Guevara appears to be fine and manages to, keep things going. Counters the lethal injection into a Spanish fly, does Guevara. Then Lethal sends Guevara to the outside and goes for the tope suicida. But Guevara stops and lands a brainbuster on the floor. Guevara then landed a bicycle knee. On the outside, Lethal then falls backwards into the table, so Guevara then goes for Senton Atomico, but Lethal moves out of the way and Guevara crashes through. Lethal goes top rope elbow, but Guevara turns it into a cradle for a near fall. Guevara then flips out and hits a lariat attempted by Lethal, turning inside out with an inverted suplex for a near fall. Lethal locks in the figure four. In the center of the ring, Guevara has to fight to reach the ropes. Locks, and he kicked Lethal in the face and nails him with a GTH in the midsection. but Guevara lands multiple rising knees and hits the GTH for the win. I know a lot of people like this. It wasn't my thing. I'm honestly not a Jay Lethal fan. I have both personal and professional disagreements with him being hired, but he did well for what it is. He still shouldn't be in a main event slot on the national television program, but it is what it is. We'll be back with more right after this.